and welcome to Project Planeview. My team is incredibly diverse. We've got a range of teachers, management specialists and developers. And because of that, we've got strong interest in increasing educational resources, but also user experience. So, next slide please. We looked at two problem areas. The first one is educational theory suggests that individuals often have quite a lot of difficulty conceptualising things like night and day and differences in seasons around the world. So by providing real-time live stream data, they can compare differences between their own country and others. The other problem is that although aircraft currently provide indications of where their planes are, there's very little information about the countries they're travelling over. So, our presentation and our project is to create a centralised platform which combines live footage as the plane travels over the countries with the information about them below. So let's show you our prototype. In theory, well, when you do eventually log on to our prototype, you will eventually be presented with a map. And on that map, which would hopefully appear at some point, you can choose the flight that you want to trace. You either type it in by the flight number, or you would actually just find amongst a collection of flights and then click on that one. It will show you the flight path of that map, and then you can simply click on that plane, and it will go to a page that shows you the live footage from that aircraft. From that, you can then see an overlay onto a map showing you the local points of interest, which you can again click on and find out a little bit of information about it. Where available, we're going to link it to some live footage on the ground, so you can actually see what is going on live, and again really get an idea of the differences between different countries. And we are also going to link it into external sites that provide educational resources, things like language learning programs. So, if we go on to the next slide. At the moment, we're aiming to target schools, the passengers themselves to give them a bit of in-flight entertainment and some educational resources, and also the general public. So it provides a centralised platform to compare that real-time experience in your own country and abroad. But once you've got cameras set up on planes, it has an enormous amount of opportunities. It will be collecting mass data, so you can use it for academic fields, and you can use it for monitoring things like climate change in terms of ice bodies, how they're shrinking and expanding, and you can also look at other improvements in things like animal welfare. If you want to know how that works, we've actually produced a booklet for different users and how our product could work in the larger scale. I'm going to pass you over to my colleague now, who will explain a little bit more about our future plans.
Thank you, Sarah, for that. So, as my colleague mentioned, we have our target users for now, but also potential users there. Therefore, for now we have two stages. The first stage, hopefully when we show you the demo, how it works, is live footage from the commercial air flight. So that's targeting our current users. And then the second stage is that where the challenging starts, when we need to install cameras and sensors in every single plane. So we'd love to dream big, and our vision is to provide and to be leaders in every single commercial flight out there. So to provide an innovative approach for that. And in terms of mission, so we need to start by, realistically, by targeting what we could do at the moment, which is producing an interactive tool for educational, because our vision would go beyond educational tool to cover environmental issues, as well as animal welfare and sustainable issue impact, bigger impact on the society. However, if we say we finish just for this event, then we're probably selling a chair with just 3 legs will fall down soon. So we need to think also a bit more about resilient business plan for future. So what we're targeting is so what we come up with a realistic timeline for the next 12 months with potentially 3 milestones. The first milestone starts within the first 6 months. That's for developing. Okay. So we are nearly there actually. So that's the timeline. And thank you for listening. Sorry, we get that shot.
Can you
show?
So this is the demo that we were describing. Here's the map. You click on the flight itself, and you can see that there's locations listed. Unfortunately, again, we have errors. I will just hand out our user booklets. And if anyone in the room wants some, we do have some spares as well.
Thank you.
How are you looking at streaming the information from all flights? If you look at the network that you have over the UK, you can see how many passenger planes there are.
Yes.
We've got a huge amount of data.
We would start on a very small scale. We'd start with a couple of key flights that we focus on, get the system kind of running and get rid of any bugs, try and work out how we could link to local partners, people that would actually like to invest in the software and perhaps buy into kind of language programs that they might want to do a trial demo for in-flight, and then say to people, okay, you've got a user code that you can then get a discount if you wanted to buy into it. So again, it would be very much on a small scale, get that running as smoothly as possible, and then build up from there. We don't anticipate to go straight out with the 35,000 planes or however many, but we just can see that there is a huge potential.
How do you take the data from playing live streaming videos to the ground?
I will ask my technical team if they've got any.
Currently, we have access to information about coordinates on the planes, plane type and such. So we can get that to work on the map that I showed you before. To get the streaming, planes have started to get access to internet right now. So we will be using that. This is just a prototype. We will have to see a lot into how to do some of those things. But that would be the idea, getting access from the internet from the plane.
That's something that should be built into the 12-month plan we're looking at.
Very much so. And there is a suggestion that there are some flights that are starting to kind of look into that, but at the moment it's really new. We haven't got anything concrete for that. Any other questions?
I've got one. Because you are going to cross several borders.
International laws and regulations?
Yes.
Obviously, kind of air images are kind of in international airspace, so there is kind of some element of that. But it is something that would have to be seriously considered, is the legal side and what exactly can be seen. I know with things like Google Maps, there are certain areas that appear to be fuzzed out over particular areas that are sensitive. And I think there would have to be some form of kind of regulation or some form of coding that when it actually overlays over the particular GPS coordinates, it does actually fuzz out that data so that it's not going to pose a risk to certain areas, because we would not want to create an educational product that is educational in the wrong hands, if you like. I hope that answers. Anyone else? Yes, at the back.
How would commercial airlines benefit by installing this?
Firstly, I don't know if anyone else wants to answer these questions, or are you happy? Okay. Okay. Firstly, it would provide some educational resources on the flight. So it would help keep the people entertained. It would also kind of benefit people. We've got examples of users, parents and things using it, so that when you do take your children out of school for the odd day, you've got educational resources as you're going along. So it has a kind of attraction to airlines. But also it has a huge capacity to kind of sell advertising space and have a kind of bigger commercial impact. So once the aircraft have kind of supported the idea, they can actually kind of pull in their own sponsors and things. In the middle.
As we know from when planes disappear, we don't have continuous communication with aeroplanes. We only have communication with them when they are near things like
Yes.
airports.
Yes.
How would you plan to give live data for aeroplanes that you wouldn't be in communication with?
Again, as my colleague has pointed out, these are still issues that are kind of in the process of being worked out. And again, it depends on what signals we've got and how much transmission we've got. On the positive, if we do manage to collect that data, it will then give a live continuous visual stream, which at the moment you've just got kind of audio and radar inputs. So you can actually have a look at kind of what's going on crash sites. But obviously that does depend on the data remaining as a constant stream. Anyone else? Yes.
When do you think you will have, not on the software side, but that technology you said that we are going to be able to transmit that information? What is your game plan for that? How long, many years do you have to wait for that?
We're aiming, and this is just obviously in the initial stages, but we'd like by 2 years' time to kind of know that we're kind of have started to get things together and really ready to produce it as a mainstream product. But we would like before then to perhaps have had a few, I guess, test examples. But yes, again, we are still collecting that data for the information, and at the moment we're at the kind of concept and kind of general plan.
And for the certification, is there civil aviation?
That's another issue. And again, it's something that I would need to look more into to actually get ideas of timescales and actual requirements for that.
Yeah, actually, I would like to just to add to that. I mean, we have in mind how even technology is developing and what's needed from the commercial flight. So from the commercial aspect, but from technology point of view, they say 2016 probably will be a breakthrough in terms of battery life, and after that, even here in your in the electronic department, they're doing the 5G network, expecting to be by within 2 years approximately. So we're trying to keep up with the existing technology, and hopefully we reach with some our current limitation for now to cover that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.